Welcome to part 2 of all the Billboard Hot 100 number ones in the Number Now series in the United States. We're on Now That's What I Call Music 29, which was released on November 11th, 2008. There are 3 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 hits on the CD, and they are tracks 1, 4, and 8. And they are So What by Pink, Disturbia by Rihanna, and Whatever You Like by T.I. Next one we go to Now 30, which was released on March 24th, 2009. And it features 2 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 hits, which are tracks 1 and 2. And they are Just Dance by Lady Gaga featuring Colby O'Donis and Womanizer by Britney Spears. Next up we go to Now 31, which was released on June 30th, 2009, and has 4 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 hits, which are tracks 1, 2, 3, and 14. And they are Boom Boom Pow by Black Eyed Peas, Right Round by Florida featuring Kesha, Poker Face by Lady Gaga, and My Life Would Suck Without You by Kelly Clarkson. Next up we go to Now 32. This was released on November 3rd, 2009 and is the last Now of the 2000s. Don't forget that the first Now of the 90s was the first Now, Now 1, Now 3 was the last of the 1990s, Now 4 was the first of the 2000s. And this is the last Now of the 2000s, Now 32. It was released on November 3rd, 2009, like I said, and has 3 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 hits, which are tracks 1, 3, and 6. And they are I Got a Feelin' by the Black Eyed Peas, Down by Jay Sean featuring Lil Wayne, and What You Say by Jason Derulo. Next up, we're going to go to Now That's What I Call Music 33. This is the first Now That's What I Call Music album to be released in the current decade, the 2010s. It was released on March 23rd, 2010, and it features 2 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 hits. What used to be the most viewed YouTube video before Baby surpassed it, Baby from the Next Now, was Bad Romance by Lady Gaga, but that's not one of the 2 number 1s on this CD. That song peaked at number 2, I think. The number 1s on Now 33 are TikTok by Kesha and Fireflies by Owl City. If Bad Romance were number 1, then Now 33 would have 3 number 1s or so. Now That's What I Call Music 34 was released on June 15th, 2010, and has 4 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 hits. What used to be the most viewed video, from July 12th, 2010, again, I think, or 14th, to November 24th, 2012. What was the Baby music video by Justin Bieber? But Baby by Justin Bieber is not one of the 2 number 1s on, is not one of the 4 Billboard Hot 100 number 1s on there. On here. That song peaked at number 5. The 4 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 hits featured on Now 34 are Nothing on You by B.O.B. featuring Bruno Mars, Rude Boy by Rihanna, OMG by Usher featuring will.i.am, and I'm a Bee by the Black Eyed Peas. Next up, we go to Now 35. This was released just a day before my mom's 47th birthday on the last day of last day of August 31st, 2010. And it features one Billboard Hot 100 number one hit. The number one hits on Now 34 tracks 2, 4, 5, and 8. This Now 35, did I say it? This Now 35 has one Billboard Hot 100 number one hit, which is track 1. And that is California Girls by Katy Perry featuring Snoop Dogg. Still have a lot more albums to go. This is Now That's What I Call Music 36, which was released on November 9th, 2010. It features 4 days after Megamind. That was just 4 days after DreamWorks released Megamind. This Now 36 features one Billboard Hot 100 number one hit, which is track 1. And that is Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. Now That's What I Call Music 37 was released on February 8th, 2011, and it features 7 Billboard Hot 100 number one hits, which are tracks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Number one hits on this now are Love the Way You Lie by Eminem featuring Rihanna, Just the Way You Are by Bruno Mars, Firework by Katy Perry. I sung that song today. Raise Your Glass by Pink, We Are Who We Are by Kesha, Only Girl in the World by Rihanna, and Like a G6 by Far East Movement featuring the Cataracts and Dev. This Now was released on May 3rd, 2011. Now That's What I Call Music 38 has 5 Billboard Hot 100 number ones, which are tracks 1, 4, 6, 7, and 14. And they are Born This Way by Lady Gaga, S&M, Hold It Against Me by Britney Spears, S&M peaked to number 2. Grenade by Bruno Mars, E.T. by Katy Perry featuring Kanye West, and Rollin' in the Deep, and camera won't focus. Rollin' in the Deep by Adele. S&M actually has a version featuring Britney Spears that peaked at number 1, but that version is not featured on this album. Just the original without Britney Spears, only featuring Rihanna, that peaked in number 2. Although that plays more than the version with Britney Spears. This is Now That's What I Call Music 39, which was released on August 9th, 2011. Get rid of that dark spot. It features 3 Billboard Hot 100 number one hits, which are tracks 1, 2, and 3. And they are Last Friday Night TGIF by Katy Perry, Party Rock Anthem by LMFAO featuring Lauren Bennett and Goon Rock, and Give Me Everything by Pitbull featuring Neo, Afrojack, and Nair. Next up we go to Now 40, which was released on November 8th, 2011. There is one Billboard Hot 100 on this number one hit on this CD, which is track 1, and it's Moves Like Jagger by Maroon 5 featuring Christina Aguilera. Skip the deluxe edition. Go to Now 41, which was released on February 7th, 2012, also featuring two Billboard Hot 100 number one hits, which are tracks 1 and 13. They are Sexy and I Know It by LMFAO and Someone Like You by Adele. Now That's What I Call Music 42 was released on May 1st, 2012. It features 3 Billboard Hot 100 number one hits, which are tracks 1 and 13. Same track number ones as the last one now, 41. And they are Stronger What Doesn't Kill You by Kelly Clarkson and Somebody That I Used to Know by Goid featuring Kimbra. This Now CD was released on August 7th, 2012. There are 2 Billboard Hot 100 number one hits on here, which are tracks 1 and 2. So the number ones on this CD are Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen and Part of Me by Katy Perry. And Now That's What I Call Music 44 was released on November 6th, 2012, and it features 2 Billboard Hot 100 number one hits, which are tracks 2 and 5. And they are Whistle by Florida and One More Night by Maroon 5. Now 45 was released on February 5th, 2013. And it features 1 Billboard Hot 100 number one hit, which is track 11, and it is We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift.